Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've got here so that you know what you need in order to be able to make these patterns. On the mat here I've got some designs. Now these designs you can easily find on the internet. If you type in pony bead designs or pony bead patterns, these you'll find quite a few of these. So this is the one I'm going to do and show you how to do today, which is this flower. There's loads of options. So this is an ice cream, and there's boy stuff in here as well. So example, we've got this alien face and a car. So you can kind of have a look around and see what there is, or get the kids to make their own designs up. Why not? Get them to do it themselves. This is the one we're going to do today. This is the flower. Now I've got a bead mat here, but I'm not expecting people to have one of these. So just use, if you need to, use a fleece of any sort, anything that you can find that will just stop the beads from rolling around, and you can just put your beads on there. That would be ideal. I have got some beads. So these are the pony beads. So just to show you, so these are the pony beads. I've got quite a few of these. If you've got some of these at home, these are absolutely perfect for this one. So use pony beads. If you don't have any pony beads, you can obviously get them really easily online. Or actually, I was thinking as well, lots of people have got these hammer beads lying around, and actually these hammer beads are quite a good shape. They won't look exactly the same, but actually they're quite a good shape, and there's no reason why you can't use these if you've got them lying around. Doesn't really matter, just use them. You'll need a thin thread, but there's no reason why they wouldn't work as well. They might not have quite the same shape, but I'm not sure that really matters, to be honest. And just to show you, I was having a play with them earlier on, just to have a look and see what they did. And kind of this was this was the flower that I made with the pony beads. So they're not quite the same round, but it works. You can still make patterns with them. So if you've got the hammer beads lying around, use them. I have got some cord here. So this is for the pony beads. The pony beads are quite a bit bigger, so I'm using this bigger cord to do my threading with. So if you've got some cord at home, then just cut some off. If you haven't, then I don't know, maybe just use some thread, some sewing thread, double it up so it's a bit thicker. Why not? Just try it and see if it works. It certainly works for the hammer beads, because I tried that before and it was okay. But there's no reason why it couldn't work with this. If you double it up to make it a little bit thicker, give it a go. Just use what you've got, and if you need to, then everything's available online. But if you've got it in the house, why not? Also, I've got here some glue, which you can probably see in the corner. So I've got some glue. The reason I've got glue is because what I've learned is that when you use this type of cord to thread your beads, sometimes the ends get really frayed, and it's really frustrating. You're having to snip the ends all the time. But if you just put a little dab of glue on the ends and let that dry, and it only takes a minute, it stops them fraying, and it's just much easier then to thread the beads on. So that's why I've got the glue. I've also got some masking tape. So what you'll probably want to do is use the masking tape to hold, secure the cord to your table or wherever you're working, just to stop it sliding around. That will just be easier for the children when they're doing their designs, if you can attach it to something. And I have got one of these circles, which is off a key ring. So if you've got a key ring, you can use a key ring to attach the cord to. And the way you do that is you want to cut a length of cord off. Doesn't really matter what size, to be honest with you, just a decent size that they can work with. Fold it in half, and then when you folded it in half, if you thread the loop through your circle of your keyring circle, thread it through, and then you just want to go underneath. You see I've made a loop there, and you just want to push the other two cords between that loop, pull it through, pull the cords through, and just pull, and then you've made this knot over the top of the ring. and that's how you attach it. And then you would attach that ring to the table using your thread. If you don't have one of these rings, then you can just use another bead to do that with. So in the same way, or a slightly different way, sorry, you would thread the cord through the bead, take it through to around the middle, and then do a loop around. So you're making a circle around that bead, pull it through, and then you've got something that you can anchor to the table. So I hope that makes sense. So let's start. I'll show you how to do this. So I'm going to get my cord and I'm going to anchor it to the table. And this will come off and move around, but it's better than nothing. So we'll just kind of anchor it to the table with a bit of cord. Now I've already decided on my colours for my flower. So on the design you can see there are 3 different coloured flowers. And you basically just follow the rows. So you get the children to design their colour flowers by putting them in lines in the way that it looks on the design. So I'm just going to do that now and I'll show you what I mean. So the first row is 3 of a colour. So I'm going to start with blue. So I'm going to put my 3 blues in a row on the mat. Then the second row is 1 of the flower colour, and then 2 of the middle flower colour, and then on the other end the colour of the flower. So I've got 1 blue. I'm going to use yellow for my middle of my flowers because I just think it looks pretty, and then 1 blue on the end. And then the final row of that flower is 3 of the flower colour. So I've got my 3 here, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's my first flower, that's the order it comes in. So I will do the same with these other 2 colours. So the first row is 3 of the petal colour, and you've got a petal colour, middle at 2 for the middle flower, petal colour, and then we're missing 1, 3 at the bottom. Let me find 1 more. There it is. That's flower number 2. Same for flower number 3. 3 of the petal colour, 1 petal, 2 middle, 1 petal, and then 3 of the flower. So that's the order that I'm going to do my flowers in, and they're in their rows that they need to be. So I'm coming to my cord, and I've got 2 strands of cord. Okay, you should be able to see that hopefully easily. 2 strands of cord. So I'm going to take my first row of 3, and I'm going to thread them all 3 onto that first cord, 1, 2 and 3, and I'm going to hold them in my hand so they don't flop all the way to the bottom. I hold them in my hand so you can see the cord is coming out of here, okay, and I've threaded them on. So I'm then going to find the end of my second cord, and where the first cord is coming out, I'm going to go in the opposite direction and go in the beads. So I'm sort of crossing them over. So this one's coming out, and this one's going to go in. So I'm going to go through all 3 beads again. And sometimes this is a bit tricky, you just have to kind of wriggle it so it works. 1, 2, and 3. 3 in. And then I'm going to find both ends of my cord, and I'm just going to pull. Okay, pull from both ends, just gently pull. Pull, pull, pull. I'm not going to go too quickly, I'm just going to pull it slowly, slowly until those 3 beads are in a row at the top of my cord. So that's row number 1 threaded. So I'm going to get my second row now. So this was my second row. I'm going to move them down here so I can see what I'm doing. Can you see them? Okay, it doesn't matter which of the cords I start with, as long as it's just one cord. I'm going to take one cord and I'm going to thread all 4 beads, one in order. So that was blue, then yellow, and then blue. Okay, so they're all threaded on in order. And then the thread's coming out here. Let's just move down so you can see it. The thread is coming down here, out of here. I'm going to take my second thread. I'm going to go in the opposite direction to the way the thread's coming out. The thread's coming out here, so I'm going to go in as it's coming out and go through all 4 of those beads. So both cords should be going through the beads, but in opposite directions. And when you've threaded on all 4 of those beads, okay, so I've got a cord now coming out here and a cord coming out here. And I'm just going to pull gently, gently, gently until I get to the top. Now, if it starts to wobble a bit, don't worry, just give it a little wriggle and a pull and a push and a wriggle, and it will go into place. And that's my second row done. So to finish off that flower, I'm going to get the final 3 beads of that flower. I'm going to take one of my cords again, doesn't matter which cord you choose, just one cord. Thread all 3 of those beads on. 1, 2, 3. And as the cord is coming out this way, I'm going to find my second cord and push it back up in the opposite direction through all 3 of those beads. All of the beads must go through all of the beads. So I've got my cords, one coming out this end, one coming out this end. If you've got your cords coming out the same end, you've gone wrong and you need to undo it. Okay, it needs to be the opposite direction. So just pull gently, gently, gently until you reach the top. And there's your first flower completed. And you just carry on, to be honest, as long as you like, and you make as many flowers as you like, because it just doesn't matter. As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters. So I'm going to do this orange one next. So I've got my 3 first beads. I'm going to add them on to the first cord. 1, 2, 3. And find the other end and go in the opposite direction. So the cord is coming out here, and I'm going to come back the opposite way, go through all 3 of those beads that I've just added. So I should now have cord coming out both sides, one end this side, one end this side. Gently, gently pull. And give it, if it starts to pop a bit, just give it a bit of a roll on the table. That'll make it sit straight. And that is basically all there is to it. And you can do all different kinds of designs. The kids can be happily designing different things and making patterns. You don't have to do flowers, you can just do patterns. Anything really. It's just quite a good, nice, calming, mindful activity to do with them. It's lovely because you've got the textures, you've got the colours, you've got the fine motor skills in there, and then you've got the design aspects of it as well. So yeah, and this is something that I do in my children's parties. We make key rings out of these. So if you have got a key ring spare, you could make these and then finish them off. And I'll show you how you can finish it off and keep them on the keyring. Or you could just undo it and start again and do something else. So that's two flowers done now. And I'm just going to show you now how to finish it off. So the way I would finish this off is I would take one of the ends and I would go back through the previous groupings of beads. This might be a bit fiddly, but if you go through all of them, managed to get through those first two. I just need to go through the second two. Don't worry if this pops out, because it will tighten up as you go through the final two. Wriggle that through. Might take you a minute. There we go, it's coming out. Okay, so I've gone through all 4 of my beads. So I've now got, I'm going to pull those cords, just give them a tug, and those beads will start to sit straight again. And then I just make a knot basically there. If I just make a knot and then another knot, you could put some glue on it at the end just to stop it all coming off if you want to. And then once you've got your knot in place, give it might pop, so just give it a roll, it will sort itself out, and just trim the ends, and it's finished. So that's a really nice activity to do. I've done this with probably 6-year-olds. They need a little bit of help, but once they've got the hang of it, it's a really nice one for them to do. And as I say, there are lots and lots of designs. You can go more complicated with the older children, or keep it simple for the younger children. And as I say, if you haven't got those type of beads, or you don't want to buy any beads, and you've got these hammer beads at home, then please use those, but use a much thinner cord. So use something like that, and that will work as well. So I hope that's been a useful creative idea for you, and I'd love to see any that anybody makes. It will be really good to see. Thank you.